What up, guys? Welcome back to another video. About 11 hours ago, Earth2 dropped their vlog number 4, the Lignator structure within the Earth2 metaverse, the ecosim, and I wanted to watch and react to that, but I also wanted to take a look at their vlog number 2, which introduced the water building, because there may
Dear
be
Earth2,
some interesting, bits and pieces that we can link together with the Lignator, because it seems like every month they're dropping, a sneak peek of a new structure. So with that said, let's take a
players
look.
and community. In this vlog, we'll be introducing details about the first ecosim building, the water processor. This is the first building of many we have designed and plan to showcase over coming weeks and months. Initial showcases will focus on buildings being visually represented in their Phase 2 model
Okay,
format,
phase
pertinent
2
to the
model,
Earth2 ecosim.
3D
But we
models in
can
phase
confirm
2.
with much excitement that over time, our showcases will proceed to reveal other buildings such as houses, shops, skyscrapers, transportation stations, educational facilities, marketplaces,
Houses, transportation stations, marketplaces, so social hubs. So there's going to be a few buildings to select from as we start. So that's going to be
social
cool to see.
hubs, vehicles, and more. It's important to note that our technical team have been working on specialized proprietary technology that will not only allow us to procedurally load and stream these buildings as 3D objects inside our massive one-to-one scale
Okay.
digital
So
replication.
they've talked about this a lot, right? The fact that they've got proprietary technology that allows them to allow them to generate all these structures on a massive scale, millions of them, fully customized and available for you to play on the global scale.
Of the planet Earth, but importantly allow for this to be done at lightning speed and support significant player customization. As you can see in this footage, this specialized 3D object is using our proprietary shader system that will
Yeah, so it's a shader system. I watched the video that Callum said he created something very similar, and it was just like, those round circles that you see on Photoshop, those spheres, and you kind of choose the palette, the shader palette, and it will auto adjust. If you watch Callum's video, you'll see it. It looked like pretty straightforward technology off the shelf, but look, a lot of people are kind of calling Earth2 out, the fact that they're calling it proprietary when really this is something you can get off the shelf. And I don't even know if this structure is their own or if this is a Unity asset. So
provide
who
Earth2
knows?
players with an incredible amount of surface customization on objects they own. Our solution not only accommodates for the coloration adjustment on numerous visual components, but
Okay.
goes further by supporting the alteration of surface types such as
Okay. Surface
this
types.
solution will give our players creative control over how each building is visually represented on their property, and our proprietary technology will support tens of thousands of different buildings, with each one having thousands of possible variations.
Okay. So again, their technology will allow for thousands of different structures with different customizations. And towards the end, they talk about different themes of buildings as well.
Here are just a few variations of the water processor, which demonstrate how even a simple Phase 2 building model can be player customized to look different while maintaining a desirable aesthetic appearance. We set out to create a digital
I don't
replication of
see any
Earth, and
animation
we're
though.
focusing on solving the most challenging. The end result will deliver an aesthetically consistent world that
Oh,
can
it's good to
uniquely
see
support
them
the streaming
zoom
of an
in.
extensive variety of 3D objects, with distinctive visual variation. And yes, there will be night, and there are lights, and those are customizable too. Each building inside of Earth2 will not only be heavily customizable by players, but will have multiple style variations such as modern, sci-fi, mythical, Asian, cyberpunk, brutalist, plus many, many
There
more.
you go. So different
Not only be
styles.
heavily customizable by players, but will have multiple style variations such as modern, sci-fi, mythical, Asian, cyberpunk, brutalist, plus many, many more. We want our
Pretty interesting
system to
themes.
become the nucleus for connecting players to an
So I'm
unimaginable number of
expecting
experiences,
this to look different depending on the theme that you
both
choose.
inside and outside.
Because as you can appreciate, we have a lot of megacities popping up already, and they have their own theme, right? So in the medieval megacity, you want everything to be medieval based. The problem with that is someone's just going to ruin it, right? This megacity is owned by multiple hundreds of people owning tiles within a megacity. Who's to say they are not going to, mess it up? They have to comply with the rules of that city.
outside of Earth-2. And the technology we're developing, along with the methods we're using to build our geolocational metaverse, are key contributing factors to what
Okay.
sets Earth-2 apart
Geolocational,
and
augmented
in a
reality.
league of its own. Now, to finish off this vlog with a few words about this particular building. The water processor is among the first eco-sim buildings a player will be able to construct on their property.
Okay.
It will occupy a single tile of player-owned land.
Yep.
The core purpose of the water processor is to refine fresh water into industrial water.
Refine fresh water into industrial water. Remember that.
While no longer fit for consumption, industrial water is a key component for any production process and will be required for the construction of most building blocks.
Okay.
The water processor is an essential building for any serious eco-sim player. Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned for further dev vlogs on other.
It'd be interesting to see if you can actually build this on water or build it next to water. That will be an interesting point for the next video that we watch. Okay, so number 4, the Lignator.
Players and community. In this vlog, we'll be introducing details about the second eco-sim building, the Lignator. As mentioned in our previous blog, we plan to showcase more Phase 2 buildings over coming weeks and months to introduce our players to the
again,
look, feel,
this
size,
one
and
has
purpose of each
animation.
eco-sim building. After researching the Lignator blueprint and the research
The water tower didn't have any animation. This one has a hovercraft and a conveyor belt.
lab, players will be able to place it on their property as a hollow
2
building.
tiles.
After this placement, the player can command construction droids to use previously woven resources required to complete the construction of the Lignator on their property. In its most basic form, the Lignator blueprint and the research lab, players will
Okay, so you have to build a research lab in order to get the Lignator blueprint?
be able to place it on their property as a hollow building. After this placement, the player can command construction droids to use previously woven resources required to complete the construction of the Lignator on their property.
Okay.
In its most basic form, the Lignator will have a rectangular footprint spread across 2 tiles, located directly next to one another. It can be loaded with wood and fresh water in order to create construction wood building blocks.
Wood. So in order to create wood construction blocks, you need wood and fresh water, as opposed to the water tower before, the water refinery that requires fresh water, which it then turns into industrial water.
Construction wood will be a key requirement for creating almost every other eco-sim building, making it not only an important building block overall, but one that will be required early in the tech
Again,
tree to
customization.
progress with creating other types of eco-sim buildings. At Earth2, we strive to provide footage of exactly how 3D objects will appear in-game, and you can expect these particular examples to look like this on a massive scale and be player customizable inside the 1-to-1 scale 3D digital
so this is what it's
replication
going
of
to
the
look like.
planet Earth we're developing. It's important to understand the buildings we are currently showcasing are Phase 2 buildings.
Okay, so Phase 2 buildings, and again, they're all this sci-fi themed one. In the last video, they mentioned that there'll be many themes. I do look forward to seeing the other themes, you know, medieval, brutalist, Asian.
Phase 2 was
all that.
originally intended to be
Sci-fi,
released in
cyberpunk.
2D on our webpage using our website map view for location-based play, and then later transitioned to our 3D world closer to Phase 3. However, this plan changed thanks to the progress made by our talented team on creating the foundation for our digital Earth. Because of this progress, we're now focusing efforts toward releasing the first version of E2 V1 much earlier than we originally anticipated,
Great.
meaning we'll actually be able to begin introducing 3D gameplay throughout Phase 2. Though it'll be an ongoing work in progress after E2 V1 is released, we still feel this approach will best allow us to share the journey more closely with our players, and certainly keep things more interesting as we slowly build toward bigger things, and then Phase 3 over coming years.
This is
Earth2
important.
is founded on the concept of real-world geolocations
Augmented
corresponding
reality.
to user-generated digital environments, which can be bought, sold, customized, and produce digital goods.
Okay, so NFTs, bought, sold.
Earth2 is founded on the concept of real-world geolocations corresponding to user-generated digital
Corresponding to user-generated digital content, which can
environments,
be.
which can be bought, sold, customized, and produce digital goods.
So if that's so you it, in the Earth2 platform at the moment, you see all these amazing blueprints that people have made of these beautiful structures, very artistic structures. And my understanding is people have already been commissioned to create certain real life monuments or structures, right? So later on, when you can put these on your landmarks, they can be bought, sold, potentially as NFTs in the open market to other people. That's going to be amazing. Again, pure speculation.
goods. One such digital good will be raw materials, which can be copied from what is found in the geological and ecological footprint of a property.
Okay, one of those resources that can be bought and sold is resources.
This means if your land on Earth
And
2
look here, there's the connection between the water tower and the Lignator here.
is located where a gold mine exists on Earth 1,
Oh,
for
oh,
example, of a property. This means if your land on Earth 2 is located where a gold mine exists on Earth 1, for example, your property will have the ability to replicate more gold than other properties which do not have that direct
great. So when, phase one was coming out and everyone was just buying land here and there, a lot of people were buying land in uh, popular tourist destinations, right? But then there were a few clever people who were buying in resource rich places because they suspected, and I think it was potentially confirmed along the way, that the gameplay mechanics of Earth 2 will correspond with resource heavy places in Earth 1, and this is confirming that to be the case. If you own land tiles in Earth 2 that corresponds to gold mines in Earth 1, then your tiles would create more gold than the other tiles.
geolocational link to gold. The ecosim will start with 8 resource types that can be replicated into raw
8
materials,
resource types.
but this list will expand over time, and it's too early to rule out other real-world geolocational perks for properties as our metaverse grows. Every player-owned tile will have access to at least one resource which can then be copied and replicated into raw materials and be used toward creating building blocks via ecosim buildings.
Every tile will have at
Building
least one
blocks are
resource.
processed raw materials, and as such, they're resources inside and outside of the economic simulation. In some cases, they need to be researched, and they're necessary for the construction of all but the most basic of buildings. As the ecosim enters higher tiers, building blocks will become ever more diversified, specialized, and complex. Raw materials and building blocks have a fixed place in both the production chain as well as the economy of Earth 2, and players will be able to transport and trade these and more between one another. In this video, we also provide the first glimpse of one transportation method inside of Earth 2,
hovercraft.
one we simply call the hover car for now. Upcoming videos will display other types of vehicles we've created to date, which can be used for various transportation methods.
Look forward to that.
We thank you for taking the time to watch this video and invite you to continue
So there you
following
go.
us for
I hope that was good for you guys. You appreciated some of the feedback or the commentary in that whole video there, and look forward to seeing you in the next dev vlog. So take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your day, night, noon, morning, wherever you are. Bye.